Hello, I'm Maurice Bernard. This is my official YouTube channel. I'll be keeping you updated with the latest news, so please subscribe to my channel. As a relatively new voice in this wonderful blogging community, I have to admit that this week's developments have left me with so much to ponder. General Hospital has a unique way of weaving the past into the present, and right now the canvas is rich with deception, medical mysteries, and fragile family dynamics. One of the most unsettling storylines we are currently navigating involves the man masquerading as our beloved Nathan West. The very idea that Cassius is walking around Port Charles wearing Nathan's face and assuming his identity is profoundly disturbing to me. Nathan was a man of honor, a true gentleman who gave his life protecting his family, and seeing his legacy manipulated in this toxic way feels like a heavy cloud hanging over the town. On Friday, May 15th, we learned that this imposter, Cassius posing as Nathan, is going to confide in someone completely unexpected. This choice of confidant raises so many questions in my mind, and I cannot help but wonder what venom Cassius is preparing to spread next. What truly brings me a sense of relief, however, is that Dante Falconeri's sharp detective instincts are finally kicking into high gear. Dante and the real Nathan shared a profound bond of brotherhood and mutual respect at the PCPD. They stood shoulder to shoulder through some of the darkest days in Port Charles, so it is only fitting that Dante is the one beginning to harbor serious new suspicions about this man claiming to be his fallen friend. The subtle inconsistencies in Cassius's behavior are starting to form a clear pattern for Dante. As a viewer, I find it incredibly satisfying to watch Dante's analytical mind go to work. He is not a man who is easily fooled, and I firmly believe that this is the beginning of the end for Cassius's cruel charade. The show is clearly setting the stage for a massive shockwave, and I am here for every moment of Dante uncovering the dark truth behind this imposter. We must also remember the sheer danger that Cassius poses while he maintains this disguise. He is already whispering poison to dangerous men like Jen Sidwell and attempting to frame innocent people like Lucas Jones for Marco's brutal murder. By confiding in this unexpected person, Cassius is likely trying to secure an alibi or manipulate another pawn in his twisted game. But Dante's growing awareness changes the entire landscape. I hope that Dante moves cautiously, because confronting a man as ruthless as Cassius requires strategy, not just bravery. This storyline reminds me of the classic, suspenseful, General Hospital narratives that keep us on the edge of our seats, waiting for the righteous hero to finally corner the villain. Shifting our focus to another intense confrontation, we have Carly Spencer stonewalling Ross Cullum. Now, I have always admired Carly's fierce, unyielding loyalty to the people she cares about, even when her methods are questionable. Right now, her focus is entirely consumed by the terrifying medical crisis surrounding Jack Brennan. Brennan's sudden stroke-like symptoms have deeply rattled Carly, turning her concern into a full-blown obsession. When Carly locks onto a mystery, she becomes a formidable force, and watching her put up a brick wall against someone as hardened and dangerous as Cullum is both thrilling and deeply concerning. Cullum is not a man to be trifled with. He is the true murderer of Marco, a ruthless opportunist who will crush anyone in his path. Yet, Carly stands her ground. I believe Carly's obsession with finding the truth about Brennan's condition stems from her deep-seated need to protect her inner circle and maintain control in chaotic situations. She knows that something incredibly sinister is at play here. The fact that she is actively stonewalling Cullum suggests that she suspects he, or someone in his dark orbit, might be involved. Or perhaps she is simply refusing to let a known criminal interfere with her desperate search for answers. However, as viewers, we know the tragic irony here. The danger to Brennan did not come from a mob enforcer. It came from inside Carly's own extended family web. Nina injected Brennan with Drew's medication, setting off this devastating physical reaction. Carly is searching for an external enemy, completely unaware that the real threat originated much closer to home. My fear for Carly is that her relentless pursuit of the truth will put her directly in the crosshairs of very violent men. By aggressively blocking Cullum, she is drawing unwanted attention to herself. Cullum is already involved in the sinister plot to frame Lucas, and he will not hesitate to eliminate Carly if she becomes an obstacle. Yet, this is the Carly Spencer we have known for decades, fearless, stubborn, and fiercely protective. I just hope her obsession with Brennan's stroke leads her to the truth about Nina and Willow's actions before Cullum decides to take matters into his own hands and silence her permanently. The tension in these scenes is palpable, and I applaud the writers for keeping the stakes so incredibly high. Meanwhile, the medical mystery at the heart of Port Charles is finally starting to unravel thanks to the brilliant and observant Elizabeth Baldwin. On Friday, we see Liz taking a monumental step by opening up to Dante about her findings. Elizabeth has always been the compassionate, steady heartbeat of General Hospital. As a dedicated nurse, she possesses an incredible eye for detail and a deep empathy for her patients. She has noticed the striking, undeniable similarities between the stroke-like symptoms incapacitating Drew Kane and the sudden, identical affliction that has struck down Jack Brennan. The fact that Liz is bringing these suspicions to Dante is a masterstroke of storytelling. She knows that this is no longer just a medical anomaly. It is a profound mystery that requires a detective's mind. When Liz confides in Dante, we are witnessing the collision of two brilliant minds working to solve a crime that the perpetrators thought was perfectly hidden. The situation is truly exploding. Willow believed she could secretly drug Drew to keep him incapacitated, and Nina, in her misguided and boundary-crossing way, used that same medication on Brennan. They thought their secrets were safe in the sterile environment of the hospital, but they underestimated Elizabeth Baldwin. I feel such a sense of pride watching Liz piece this puzzle together. She is advocating for her patients in the most profound way possible. Dante, who is already on high alert because of the Cassius situation, is the perfect person to receive this information. He will not dismiss Liz's concerns. He will follow the evidence wherever it leads. The implications of Liz and Dante's partnership are absolutely staggering. As they dig deeper into the connection between Drew and Brennan's conditions, the walls are going to close in rapidly on Willow and Nina. I cannot help but feel a mixture of anticipation and dread for the moment the truth comes out. Willow, who has always presented herself as an angelic, pure-hearted woman, has committed a dark and desperate act. The guilt is already crushing her, driving her into the arms of Harrison Chase. When Dante uncovers the truth, the fallout will shatter families. Michael's vindictive nature will be unleashed, and Nina's tragic flaw of crossing boundaries will once again cost her dearly. This is soap opera storytelling at its absolute finest, a slow, meticulous build-up leading to an inevitable emotional explosion. Adding another layer of complex intrigue to the canvas is the strategic maneuvering of Valentine Cassadine. Valentine is a man who operates beautifully in the shadows. He is a known fugitive, a master manipulator, and a man who possesses a profound, albeit fractured, history with so many in Port Charles. On Friday, we learned that Valentine is planning a new strategy, and importantly, he is taking expanding actions alongside Nina. This alliance is always a recipe for compelling television. Valentine and Nina share a deep, complicated bond. They understand the darker, more desperate parts of each other's souls. When these two put their heads together, the rest of the town should be very, very afraid. The spoilers tease that their joint actions will lead to the revelation of a brand new secret. I find myself endlessly fascinated by what Valentine is truly aiming to achieve. Is he using Nina to gain access to resources, or is he genuinely trying to protect her from the impending fallout of the Brennan medication disaster? Valentine is calculating and patient, never making a move without anticipating the next 10 steps. By bringing Nina into his strategic planning, he is weaving her into his web of survival. I have a strong feeling that this newly revealed secret will have massive ripple effects across Port Charles. Perhaps it involves Jen Sidwell, or maybe it ties back to the dangerous forces moving through the city. Whatever it is, Valentine's quiet, lethal intelligence makes every scene he is in an absolute must-watch. I must admit, I always feel a pang of sympathy for Nina, even when she is making terrible choices. She has this tragic inability to maintain healthy boundaries, and her desire to help or be loved constantly leads her into heartache. Teaming up with a fugitive like Valentine is incredibly risky, especially when Carly is already breathing down her neck regarding Brennan. Nina is hopelessly entangled in complications, and her alliance with Valentine might be her only lifeline, or it could be the anchor that drags her down completely. I love watching the nuanced performances here. The writers are painting a beautiful, tragic portrait of a woman who just cannot seem to escape her own worst impulses, guided by a man who thrives in the chaos she creates. Finally, we must discuss the deeply emotional and incredibly complicated dynamic unfolding between Rick Lansing, Alexis Davis, and their daughter Molly. The spoilers for Friday indicate that Rick and Alexis are coming together to help Molly overcome the crazy situations related to her illness. On the surface, this sounds like a beautiful, heartwarming moment of parental unity. Molly is facing a terrifying medical situation, and her health is clearly taking a massive toll on her life. Seeing her parents, who have such a volatile and adversarial history, unite to support her should be a source of immense comfort. I want to feel happy for Molly, who has been trying to enjoy her professional success with her book tour and her personal bliss with Cody Bell. Thank you for watching my video. I will regularly update you with the latest news about the drama General Hospital, so please stay tuned.